as you massage the face, you're physically relaxing a lot of tension you hold in the muscles. And we hold so much stress in our face. We hold so much stress in our jaw, around our forehead area. We tend to really overuse our forehead.
I do tend to frown a lot. And by releasing that frown, it actually makes me more relaxed.
Lots of people find straight away when they've done a technique, their skin looks healthier, looks more glowing, because we're helping to bring all the fresh blood and nutrient and oxygen up to the surface. We're feeding the skin, helping to instantly brighten the skin. So that's a lovely instant results from face yoga.
Hi, welcome to the Dr. Joy Kong Show. So, as you know, this show is all about health and wellness, and I'm your stem cell specialist and anti-aging expert. And this show is all about helping you to look great, feel great, and be great for every day of your life. And I've gathered together various experts in the health and wellness space, and we can share information that will enhance your life. And today, I'm really excited to have Danielle Collins. She's a well-known, world-renowned, actually, face yoga expert. If you don't know what it is, then we're going to explain. But she is a best-selling author and a regular on TV and in the media. She has over 17 years of experience and had helped millions of people look and feel the best version of themselves using natural techniques to lift the face and boost well-being. So Danielle, I am so excited to have you to share what you know and to teach everybody to look better and feel better.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to chat to you. And I had you on my podcast, which
Yes.
was amazing. So I heard all about the wonderful things that you do, and I learned a lot on that. So I'm excited to chat to you again.
Yeah, wonderful. So you are in UK, right? So
Mhm.
maybe you can tell us a little bit about your journey and how did you even discover face yoga? Like how did this come about? It's been 17 years. What happened 17 years ago?
Well, 19 years ago, I actually
Oh,
became really unwell. So I just graduated from university. I'd done my degree in education. So I was going to teach, but I planned to be a school teacher. And I got glandular fever, or I think in the US you call it Epstein-Barr.
mm,
And then this was then diagnosed afterwards as ME, which is a version of chronic fatigue. So I was extremely tired. I was bedridden a lot of the time. I had chronic pain throughout my whole body. I had brain fog. I had a number of symptoms which were completely debilitating for me. And doctors didn't really know what to do for me. You know, there wasn't any sort of magic pill that they could give me or anything in particular they could suggest. They just sort of said, this may be something you just get over in a few weeks, or it may be something which you live with for the rest of your life. You know, we don't know enough about it to give you those facts. And at the time, I was someone who had little to no knowledge about anything to do with health or wellness. And I was a very stressed person. I was very much a perfectionist. I very much pushed myself, and really I burnt myself out in many ways. And I was determined to overcome this illness. And someone suggested, why don't I try a bit of yoga? I'd never even heard of yoga before. I had absolutely no clue what it was. But I remember getting like an old school VHS videotape about yoga, and I would start just doing whatever I could. So because a lot of the time I was bedridden, it would be breathing techniques in bed, it'd be very gentle stretching exercises in bed. And I remember so clearly back now, even 19 years ago, just remembering taking that first deep cleansing breath and learning to breathe properly again, because I probably hadn't breathed properly since I was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old really at the time. So, you know, learning the breathing, and that started my journey into lots of holistic therapy techniques and lots of holistic routines and rituals that I put into my life. So everything from positive thinking to meditation, changing my nutrition. I called on lots of different holistic therapists and did everything from acupuncture to massage, had life coaching, acupressure, lots and lots of different things. And I managed to heal myself from the inside out. And within about 12 to 18 months, I was fully recovered. I was healthier, I was stronger, I was more energized than I had really ever been in my whole life. And I knew that there must be other people out there who are either going through a similar illness, or they just want to learn these techniques I'd used on myself, which really were very easy, very simple, could be done from home. And I then went and did training as a yoga teacher. I did training in relaxation therapy. I took some trainings in nutrition, face massage, and many, many different things. And I started teaching initially a lot of yoga and relaxation and meditation classes. And I was built up a very busy client base. It was wonderful. I was teaching lots and lots of classes and lots of one-to-one sessions. And I was noticing, and this is really going back 17, 18 years ago, that what clients were saying to me, Danielle, I love what yoga's doing for my body. You know, I'm toning up, I'm feeling more relaxed, I have less pain, less tension, my muscles look firmer and more lifted. I love what it does for my mind, I feel calmer. But what about the face? You know, I wish you could do something for the face. And I remember when I trained as a yoga teacher, thinking, how crazy is it that we learn everything about how to exercise and relax the body from the neck downwards, but nothing about 57 muscles in the head, face, neck, ear, tongue area. We just don't learn about that as a yoga teacher. And I was always interested in the face, and I did some training in face massage. And as lovely as it was being able to give clients now and again a lovely face massage treatment, I really wanted them to be able to do this themselves at home every day, because that's how they would get results, not just coming once a month or once every 2 months to have their face massage by me. I wanted them to do it themselves. And really going back sort of 17 years ago, there were very few options when it comes to the face. There wasn't the options that we have in terms of invasive options, you know, so things like the botox and the fillers, we didn't have those. I mean, they were around, of course, but they weren't as mainstream as they are now. And there wasn't as many natural options either. So there were so many women that were wanting something that they could do really easily for free at home, but that was effective. So I started to do a lot of research into techniques that have been used for thousands of years. So in traditional Chinese medicine, in Ayurveda, in Shiatsu. I started to research a lot more deeper about the face. You know, I was drawing on, of course, all the trainings that I had done. And I started to put together the Danielle Collins face yoga method. And at the time, I would just teach small amounts at the end of yoga classes, or I would do little focus groups with my clients. And actually looking back now, that was really key in honing my techniques, because as I was researching, I was working with real people, and I was doing sort of those before and after pictures. I would make them a CD, they'd go home, they'd listen to the techniques, they'd join in, and they would do it. And I could actually see what results it was getting. And then I've been very blessed over the last sort of 17 years that I've been able to teach this around the world. I've been able to teach it to millions of people online. I've been able to write books on the matter. I'm on TV. I train people to be face yoga teachers now. So we have thousands of teachers in my method around the world in over 50 different countries. And I'm just hugely passionate about helping people just to feel good. It helps you to look good, but I just love how it makes you feel. And so many people come to face yoga for sort of the anti-aging side of things, but there's this really lovely positive side effect that you feel calmer, you feel more relaxed, and you feel empowered as well, because you have the tools in your own hand to lift and firm your face.
Wow, that's a wonderful story. Yeah, this is so interesting. It came very organically. So how do you think the face yoga actually help people to feel better? Like, what do you think is the mechanism?
I think there's lots of things. I think first of all, it's the breathing. I mean, breathing has been proven in multiple studies. When we breathe correctly, we breathe deeply, how this can positively affect our central nervous system, how it can lower our stress levels, how it can help so many systems in our body, and it can help so many ailments as well. And I'm a big believer in, every time I teach face yoga, to help people with that deep breathing as well. So I think there's that, first of all. I think taking that little bit of time for yourself every day, so whether it be 2 minutes, whether it be 20 minutes, to really take that self-care time is incredibly important. And again, it really helps you just to feel good and take back that control over your own mind, your body, your face, and your life as well. There's also lots of acupressure points which we press on the face. So particularly when we look at Ayurveda or traditional Chinese medicine, these points have been used for thousands of years to help things like reduce stress, to help people if they're going through insomnia, to help with mild headaches, jaw tension, and that type of thing. So we're actually working on a lot of those acupressure points But also, as you massage the face, you're physically relaxing a lot of tension you hold in the muscles. And we hold so much stress in our face. We hold so much stress in our jaw, around our forehead area. We tend to really overuse our forehead, our temple area. You know, we tend to really pull in the procerus muscle between the eyebrows. We tend to tighten the mouth and purse the lips when we're feeling stressed. So a lot of my techniques are about lifting and firming certain muscles, but also some of my techniques as well are about learning to consciously relax muscles. And not only is this good for preventing and reducing lines and wrinkles, because we're learning to naturally relax them, but we're also relaxing the tension and the emotional stress that we're holding in them.
Yeah, that interesting. That reminds me of what happens with Botox. I
Yeah.
think, I've definitely, used Botox and I love it because I do tend to frown a lot. And by releasing that frown, it actually makes me more relaxed. So there's interaction between what you're doing with your muscle and your brain circuitry. So once you release your muscle, then you have a different feedback loop. So there's I think it's a positive relaxation. So I assume that you guys are doing very, very similar, similar effects. So I can't wait. So when people do this, do they do like twice a day?
It's really up to the individual what they do. I am always encouraging for people to start small and build it up, because I encourage this to be a habit for life. So it's not a quick fix. It's not something that you're just going to do one day and that's enough. It's like going to the gym or going to the yoga class. If you go once, you feel like your muscles have had a great workout. You have that great boost in endorphins, the circulation's boosted. You might have a lovely glow in the skin. But actually, it's when you go regularly that you start to really see the results. And it's the same with face yoga. So I really recommend keeping it up daily. But
Mm.
how much you do is really down to you and your lifestyle, and also how quickly you want to get results. So if you've really got time and you really want to dedicate yourself to this and get results quite quickly, I'd say do 20 to 30 minutes every day of a combination of facial exercises, massage, relaxation, acupressure. If you think that that isn't realistic for me to start off with, I want to go a little bit smaller, just do 1 minute or 2 minutes. All the techniques in both of my books are 1 minute techniques for problem areas. So you can sort of build up a routine. If you sort of, for example, say, oh, I really want to tone up the front of my neck. Okay, so I'm going to do a 1 minute technique for that every day. Okay, but I might build on that then and do another 2 or 3, and then start to do ones for the cheeks or the eye area and build onto that. So it's fine to start small, and you know yourself, you know how much time you've got, how much time you dedicate to self-care, how much time you want to dedicate to self-care. So I'm never really rigid in sort of saying you must do 30 minutes a day else it doesn't work. I want people to fit it into their busy lives.
Great. And what have you seen in people's face after they started doing this face yoga?
I mean, I've seen great results and it's really lovely. I mean, sometimes it surprises me how quickly people get results, because I always like to go down the path of being like really realistic and saying, look, you may be having to do this for a few weeks or even a few months before you start to see the difference. But I get sent, people's before and after pictures, or get sent people's feedback all the time. And sometimes people are getting results, within a few days of doing something as simple as, we were talking again about something like the frown lines, but actually as soon as people consciously learn to relax that area and even then put it into their day-to-day life, so they're not pulling it in while they're at a computer or looking at a phone. So it's not only when they're doing that 1 minute technique, it's throughout the rest of the day. Then they're like, oh, within a week, we're starting to see that those lines are reducing, and it really depends on lots of things in terms of how quickly you get results. I tend to notice it's not necessarily down to somebody's age whether they get quicker results. So it's not like a 20-year-old is always going to get quicker results than a 60-year-old. In my experience, it tends to be A, dedication, but B, lifestyle as well. So if someone is complementing the face yoga with a healthy lifestyle, if they're keeping out the sun, they're wearing their SPF, they're eating healthily, they're hydrating, they're getting enough sleep, they're making sure their stress levels lower down, then they're often the people that are seeing results really, really quickly, because it just complements really nicely with that.
I see. So maybe you can show us a little bit of, how you do this face yoga. People have seen, the body yoga. How do you work the face?
Of course. So let me just show you a couple of easy, quick key techniques. So let's start with our neck area. So a really nice one that helps to tone up underneath the neck. And it's really nice just to start without thinking about your posture. So you lengthen up through the spine, you relax your shoulders, you ground your feet onto the floor, because good posture is incredibly important when it comes to our face, because that forward facing posture that we tend to always have when we're looking at phones and laptops, that straight away creates lines in this area, fluid retention. So working with the posture, relaxing the shoulders is really important. And then we just want to very gently tilt the neck back. Now, of course, if you've got any neck issues or whiplash or anything like that, just please don't overextend it. Lips together, and you're going to bring your tip of the tongue up and down towards the roof of the mouth, about a rate of 1 per second. So it's just going up and down, up and down. And you want to breathe in and out through your nose as you do this. So we're going. And you'll feel that working underneath the chin there. And you want to do that for about 60 seconds. If you need to start with 30 seconds and build that up, you can do. But that's a great way to lift and tone the neck. But I would definitely say to that, add good posture throughout the day, and that's going to really help to complement that very well. Then as we move up the face, it's really good to release tension in the jaw. So this is going more from a wellness point of view, but actually when we're holding tension in the jaw, this has lots of knock-on effects aesthetically. So tight jaw straight away means that we're creating lines here, we're creating lines here, we may even be tensing right up into this area. So the more we can relax the jaw, the better in terms of releasing tension. So really simple, 2 fingers and thumb, we can just gently pinch up the jawline. So really lovely massage and lifting off. So working up just like this and lifting off. And that's just really nice for releasing tension. And then there's a really lovely acupressure point. So it's just underneath the ear, just in top of the jawbone there. And you may want to massage or even wiggle that a little bit. And for some people, it can feel very tense, very tender there. And if it does, it's normally an indication that you are holding a lot of stress in your jaw. So it's a really lovely one to do.
Yeah, that's me here.
Yeah, you feel that?
Yeah. Very
and then our cheek area, so lifting and firming, lots of muscles in our cheeks. So this technique's really great. So you put your hand over your mouth, and the reason we do this, I'll show you actually the reason in a moment. I'll show you the first part. So the first part, we go like this, and we transfer air from cheek to cheek. So we go. Now then we use our fingers, and if we see any lines created around the lip area, we use our fingers to smooth any lines as we go. So we go. It does feel funny and look funny sometimes.
That's what we do when we're kids, right?
Yeah, but we're working out the muscles now. And with face yoga, or particularly with my method, Danielle Collins face yoga method, I never want you to see any lines and wrinkles as you're creating any exercises. So that would be completely counterintuitive. So with this exercise, that's why we then bring the hands up. Some people don't find that they crease around this area, but most people do. So if you do, that's why you're just using the fingers just to smooth that area. So you're working out the muscles without creating any expression lines there.
I see. Okay.
And then eye area, so massage. I mean, I've got lots of techniques for each area, but I'm just showing you some key ones here. It's really nice to use our ring finger and just come underneath the eyebrows and very gently come underneath the eye. And you do this really slowly, really gently, and you make sure you don't drag the skin. So that skin around the eye area is so thin and so delicate. And often we tend to push and pull and sort of tug at that skin more than we should. Maybe if we get itchy eyes or allergies, or we're taking our makeup off. So you want to be really, really light, feather-light touch. So we're actually working with a bit of lymphatic drainage here. And it's very good if you suffer from puffiness or dark circles underneath the eyes. And each of these techniques you can do for up to 1 minute.
So it's very light. I mean, you can't really, if you don't pull the skin, you can't really do it very hard. And even just that light touch
That light touch, we actually don't want to go down as deep as the muscle with that. We actually just want to work just below the top layer of skin. So we're doing the lymphatic drainage there. So you'll actually feel, sometimes you even feel almost like a little release on the sinuses as you go around. And it's very good for the puffiness. If we start to drag that skin, we're just going to be creating more lines and more wrinkles, which we don't want to do there.
Okay.
Then as we come up to the forehead area, we can go a little bit deeper than what we're doing around the eyes. So you can just do very simply one index finger and then the other, massaging between the eyebrows. And that's beautiful. And it just really relaxes tension in that area. It stimulates a few acupressure points, which help to reduce our stress. So this is going back to what we were talking about at the beginning about relaxing that area that we tend to overuse, overexpress. And again, you can do that up to 1 minute, and then you can take all of your fingers and just come across your forehead area. And you can use a little bit more pressure again than what we did around the eye area. And this is really encouraging that frontalis muscle at the front of the forehead to really relax, soften. And what we want to do a lot with face yoga is we're retraining certain muscles. So there's often, I encourage people to do eye movements and eye techniques, which have been used in yoga for thousands of years, because we don't use our eyes enough. We tend to overexpress with our forehead, which creates those horizontal lines. And actually what we want to do is keep the forehead relaxed, but use our eye muscles much more.
So that's the, I know you have, I don't know how many movements you have in your arsenal.
Oh yeah. Well over 100, probably in the hundreds. Yeah.
Yeah, but even just these few, it's going to be really, really helpful for people.
Yeah, absolutely. They really are.
As far as helping with skin, you've seen people reduce puffiness and releasing wrinkles. Is it enhancing the texture of their skin?
All of that, exactly. So lots of people find straight away when they've done a technique, their skin looks healthier, looks more glowing, because we're helping to bring all the fresh blood and nutrient and oxygen up to the surface. We're feeding the skin, helping to instantly brighten the skin. So that's a lovely instant results from face yoga. And actually through a full facial massage you do for yourself, you will notice your face looking more lifted and more sculpted as well, which is amazing. And then as you start to do it more over coming days, weeks, months, you'll start to notice things like puffiness under the eyes, reducing dark circles under the eyes, softening of lines around the forehead and between the eyebrows, and starting to then notice the cheeks lifting and firming, less tension in the jaw, and lifting and firming in the neck as well. So that tends to be the results from an aesthetic point of view that people find.
Yeah, I know people worry about jowls and, just marionette lines. So that will be this technique that's going to really help that.
Yeah, absolutely. Reducing sort of tension in the jaw is really important, but lots of my exercises will also work with helping to tone and lift the muscles around the mouth area and around the cheeks as well.
And what do you think of the ancient technique, which is popular now, using Gua Sha, using the stones to massage the skin, and what are your thoughts on that?
I love Gua Sha. I think they are wonderful. I think they work great. I've been using them myself for years. I've been encouraging clients to use them as well. So they're wonderful. And last year I collaborated with a great company that we have here in the UK called the Hey You Method, and they are specialists in Gua Sha and traditional Chinese medicine, and we linked up together to do a Gua Sha teacher training program. So many of our face yoga teachers were requesting to get certified in how to teach their clients how to do Gua Sha on their face as well. So we put together an accredited teacher training program, which has been going amazing. So it's wonderful actually to see how Gua Sha complements face yoga so well. And I usually say to people, if they want to do both, they work great together, and do one of two things. Either do your face yoga first and then follow it with the Gua Sha, because Gua Sha tends to open the pores, so you don't want to sort of touch the face too much afterwards. So doing the face yoga and then the Gua Sha, or do them at separate times of the day. So what I tend to do is like a minute gua sha or 2 minutes gua sha in the morning, because my morning's always super busy and rushed, trying to get children out the door to school and get everything sorted. So I don't have a huge amount of time in the morning. So gua sha tends to be what I do in the morning. Or sometimes I'll use like a jade roller or rose quartz roller for a minute or two, or I like Cancer wands as well. They're an Ayurveda tool, which are amazing, that you can massage the face
What is
with.
it called?
And Cancer wand.
Cancer one.
Cancer one,
Okay.
yeah. So it's like a little like wooden sort of handle to it, and then it has a soft metal dome, and you massage your face once you've got some oil or serum on your face. And it's very good for drawing out impurities in the skin. It's been used in India for a long time. And it's very rejuvenating for the skin, very good for working acupressure points, or as it's called in Ayurveda, the mama points. So very, very relaxing, very good for the well-being as well. And that I tend to do one of those sort of tools in the morning, and then evening time is when I tend to do my face yoga. So that works really nicely for me. I can fit that time in. I usually try and do a minimum of 10 minutes, and sometimes I will use a tool afterwards as well, just depending on how much time I've got.
That's great. And of course, eating healthy, and hydration, all that's really important. Are there supplements that you recommend people take?
Supplements are, I'm always a big fan of supplements. Even if you're eating the healthiest diet in the world, I always think that, particularly in our society now, the stress that we're under, the level of pollution and pesticides we're exposed to, how little nutrition much of our food does have now, I really like to complement it with supplements. But I think supplements are very individual as well. So I always say to go to a nutritional therapist or functional medical specialist and actually get the supplements that are right for you. The obvious ones are the vitamin C. People may want to include a collagen powder, maybe like a marine collagen powder into their diet. I'm always a fan of a B vitamin complex as well. I think that really supports your stress levels, helps your energy levels. I'm always a big fan of magnesium. I think that most of us are magnesium deficient, so I'm always really, really keen on that. But doing what's right for you. Fish oils, evening primrose oil. I could go on and on in terms of sort of supplements, but I do think it is very individual. And I think that actually we can tend to either think we don't need supplements at all, or we can just take everything without thinking what our body actually needs. So actually getting a consultation about what's right for us works really well.
Yeah, I'm a little conflicted about sunscreen actually, because I just think the sun has a lot of healing properties. It probably does a lot more than what we know. I'm still not convinced that the sun actually causes cancer. If you look at indigenous populations, skin cancer, we don't really hear about skin cancer, and they can be exposed to the sun, in tropics all the time. I think it's what you eat and what the toxins are in your body that's really triggering. Maybe there's an interaction, but I just think there's an overreaction to, to what we believe sunlight can do.
Interesting. I was reading something that said almost exactly what you've just said today,
Oh,
which is really interesting. When I was doing a lot of research, particularly for my first book, all of the research was pointing about the fact that most aging for our face, so about 80% of aging, tends to be because of sun damage. So I've always been a big believer encouraging people to wear an SPF, particularly on their face and neck area, all year round, because we know that those UVA rays can even penetrate glass, can even penetrate cloud. So actually, I've been always a believer in that. However, I have always been really, really conscious myself of making sure that, particularly in the UK, when we do get sunny days, which is not as often as we would like, but when we can actually get vitamin D in the UK between April and October, to making sure I expose some parts of my body to the sun every day, whenever I can, whenever it's sunny, even if it's 10 minutes or 20 minutes, because it's really important we do get that vitamin D from the sun. And I do agree with what you're saying as well. You know, it's about finding that balance between those really healing properties of the sun and getting the vitamin D. I mean, I do take a vitamin D supplement as well, because we are here in the UK, even if you're out every sunny day that we have, you know, we don't have enough of those sunny days in most areas of the UK. But yeah, it is about finding that balance. But we do know that a lot of aging is down to the UVA rays in the sun, and about 80%. But we also do know that the sun is the best source of vitamin D, and vitamin D is vital for your immune system, for your nervous system, for so many things. So absolutely, it's just finding that balance. I think it's like everything in life. It's just being quite intuitive with it and just working out a balance that is right for you.
But also finding the kind of SPF that, you know, the kind of sun protection that's not going to be toxic, because there has been a lot of talks about how these sunscreens actually are causing all kinds of problems. So, you know, which is probably one reason, you know, I, you know, designed this product, this skin cream, charaomni. It actually has all these natural herbs that have natural sun protection, you know, mechanisms built in. And that's all I use. I'm not using sunscreens. I'm counting on the natural sun blocking capabilities, or, you know, the protective abilities of these herbs. Yeah, but definitely I want to start doing the yoga, because when people are just doing face cream, they're not exercising the muscles, right? So they're not, I assume the metabolism, the lymphatic drainage, and just a blood circulation allows more nutrients to be delivered and allows better skin health. That's
it complements the skincare so well, and it's helping the skincare to penetrate deeper into the skin as well. And like you say, if you're doing some facial exercises combined with that, then you're getting that combination. So works so beautifully together. And that's what I say to people that are rushed for time. You know, do a couple of minutes of face yoga whilst you're applying your skincare products, because we all usually take a little bit of time to do that every day. So if you can just take another 2 minutes or another 3 minutes to do a little bit of facial massage or a few facial exercises, then that's a great starting point.
It's interesting. I had a friend from medical school. He designed this this device that has silicone in it, that you put it in your mouth and you clench. You know, the exercise is biting on the silicone gel. And so because this is like 20 years ago, and he said, well, this is gonna enhance, it's going to exercise muscle, because he's you know, a very into fitness. So you see people that are into fitness and they have less drooping, right? When they get older, less drooping the skin, everything is tighter. So all that exercise, you know, helps pumping, I assume, enhance the skin health. So he's using the same principles and have people clench the jaw, but then you're only working on this one muscle, right? So what about the rest? So that's where your technique is so helpful, that you're working everything.
It's really interesting you say about that tool, because I go and see a chiropractor every sort of month just for maintenance, and she's a family chiropractor, so she's always seen my children since they were babies, just for gentle adjustments, and she's very, very holistic. And she recommended for my eldest daughter, who's 9, one of these little devices, because actually she was starting to find a lot of overcrowding with her teeth area and just needed to sort of just open the jaw up a little bit more. Now, trying to get a 9-year-old to do that isn't easy. And she uses it very occasionally and very sporadically, but it sounds like it's the exact same thing. And the company that I got it from was an Australian company called Munchie, and they make it specifically for children in order to help them better nasal breathing, because now we know how important nasal breathing is as opposed to mouth breathing for overall health, and to also help children prevent them having to get braces as they get into teenagers, because actually if you're making enough space in the jaw area, then the teeth have got enough space to grow straight, which is fascinating. But like I say, trying to make, or not even make, but suggest the child to do that for more than about 2 seconds about once a week is impossible. So we don't use it very often, but yeah, I've definitely got experience of that tool.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So do you feel the massage I assume you do both the massage and a lot of muscle contractions, right? So that's
Yeah,
where the kind of the pumping, uh, actions come in. And
exactly.
I assume it's a combination of muscle contractions and massage. I think I've seen some of your videos where you are holding down, and that's the same thing as preventing wrinkling, right? And you're contracting.
Exactly that, yeah. Or you can do them as separate exercises. So, like for example, the neck one I showed you, where we're really working with toning the muscle, we could do that, and then we could add in some sort of massage into that area afterwards. So sometimes they're done as separate techniques, and sometimes we're doing exactly what you said. We're doing a muscle contraction and relaxation, but we're also making sure we keep the muscles nice and relaxed and smooth. So we're not creating that sort of lines, those wrinkles and those creasing, because that's the opposite of what we want to do.
Yeah, this is so fascinating. Yeah, I thank you for sharing your knowledge and all the things that you have designed. So if people want to learn more and want to follow you and read your book, how do they find you?
So you can go to faceyogaexpert.com, which is my website, and that's got everything that you need on there. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm Face Yoga Expert, Face Yoga Expert on TikTok, the Face Yoga Expert on Facebook, and I've also got a YouTube channel which has got hundreds and hundreds of videos that you can watch and enjoy for free, which is again Face Yoga Expert. And I've also got the Face Yoga Expert podcast, which is my weekly podcast, which is also full of lots of tips about the face, skin and wellness and yoga.
That's wonderful. You're everywhere. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, I'm gonna incorporate, probably nightly, just relax with Danielle.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And again, so if you've followed us so far, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to keep bringing fabulous guests like Danielle onto the show. And thank you for watching.